I always said I want to teach a course that I would have wanted to take when I was an undergraduate. Teaching makes you connected.
I would not be where I am today as the professor had I not gone to Columbia.
I've always loved teaching and I've loved mentoring young people.
We celebrate you who have answered the call in your particular way. Frederick Michael Strype, 2002 Master of Fine Arts, School of the Arts.
I never thought of myself as an Ivy Leaguer. I never thought I'd ever go to a place like Columbia. Then when I walked through the gates for the first time, I remember so distinctly feeling I'm home. We sat up in the Lifetime screening room, 511, and it's very intimidating. They had all the professors standing up there, not a smile among them, staring us down. The first year you study all the different threads of the discipline. And I found that to be incredibly valuable because it allowed you to really understand how you wanted to fit into this mosaic of film and media making. I realized this was the most amazing intellectual gymnasium I could ever be in, and I wanted to keep working out. And during that time I was able to give back a lot. I ran the Guest Filmmaker Series, the Student Film Festival. They asked me to teach some undergraduate courses, and then I was invited to teach in the graduate program for several years. How are you, my dear?
I'm good.
You look fabulous. Thank you so much. The School of the Arts asked if I would represent them on the Alumni Trustee Nominating Committee. And so while you might think that people from engineering would be pushing for the engineering candidate, or Fred Strype would be pushing for the School of the Arts candidate, we really were very objective about it. When an ad hoc committee was formed to tease out the mission statement and what would become the bylaws of the Contemporary Alumni Association for Columbia University, I was asked to be involved. I was a little surprised because coming out of the arts, I'm a producer by nature, and I have an ability to go into a messy situation and help make some order. I've been to the Medalist Awards Gala in the past. So interesting to see the unique contributions people have made. I never thought I would ever be up on this screen.
Today we mark and we celebrate what in all likelihood you will come to see as the defining experience in your lives.
Going back to my first walk through the gates and feeling I was home, it wasn't just about the School of the Arts, although this became my rec house, my bunkhouse. I always felt a very close connection to this university as a whole.
Sabin C. Streeter, Columbia Business School.
I was in the Army, and Columbia had a program that started in January, so I was thrilled to be here in January, and Columbia turned out to be the perfect place for me. At that time, very few people got into investment banking, and I had that opportunity because I did very well here. I ended up in the top 2 or 3 in my class, and by doing that, I was given the opportunity to interview for some special jobs that I really didn't know existed or that I wanted to do when I came here. It turns out the Streeter family has a serious connection, legacy connection to Columbia. We actually have 5 degrees, and we're very proud of all of that. Shortly after I graduated, I ended up coming here and doing some teaching. I was an adjunct professor in the 70s and taught the investment banking course. Warren Hall is another building for the business school. It's a joint venture with the law school, and we were given the responsibility of raising a good portion of the money because most of the classrooms in Warren Hall are business school related. Well, I feel very good about the time I spent as an executive in residence here at Columbia, and my main responsibilities here have been to mentor students. I've mentored 3,500 or so students over the last 20 years. 4 years ago, one of the students decided to try to create quality childcare and has been able to do that. It hasn't been easy. She had to raise over $400,000. It now has 75 children, 15 employees, and it's a spectacular place, and it's made a real difference in Harlan. And I feel very good about the time I spent with Denise and Ducey.
This is a day that's all about the graduates and what you've earned.
My real hope is that as jobs change, that Columbia is at the forefront of young people who are making a difference in the world and never dreamed I'd get an award for this. So it was very nice. It's something I'll always remember, and I appreciate it.
The Honorable Joseph A. Greenaway, Jr., Columbia College.
I view my time here and my subsequent affiliation with Columbia as sort of foundational to my being. I lived in the Bronx with my family. I took the train to school every day, and I did a lot of studying on the train. Intellectually, Columbia allowed me to explore areas that I didn't get to in high school. I went to Bronx Science, so when I came here, it was like nirvana. What the Corps does for you is it instills a confidence in you. I was exposed to a lot of the cases of the Supreme Court and the happenings of the Supreme Court in the last 200 years. And really, that's become part of my lifelong interest in the law. Of course, most important, I met my wife here. She's Barnard, class of '78. We have 3 people from our class, each of whom swear that they introduced us. Interviewing young people who want to come to Columbia is always exciting for me. The kids that I interview, particularly minority kids, need to see that somebody before them went to Columbia and has had some modicum of success. At this stage, the Board of Visitors was a natural springing board to the trustees. Sure, it's prestigious and that is not insignificant, but the most important part is the opportunity to serve.
The circuit court rendered judgments, defendants appeal. The appellate.
I taught a seminar on the Supreme Court to undergraduates. Each of the classes met a Supreme Court justice because I've been fortunate enough to meet all of them over the course of time. In 1998, I gave the Class Day speech in which I tried to focus our graduates that year on a life in public service, which is certainly not what I thought I was going to be headed for when I graduated in 1978.
They are unquestionably and universally acclaimed as the best Columbia College class ever.
It's a responsibility when you receive any kind of recognition like this. It means that you have to redouble your efforts. Columbia is not perfect. There are things that need to be done, and I want to make sure that I make a contribution to that.